summarizing transformations, right, Ontiveros? I believe in you, man. You're going to be able to catch up if you just focus. Focus like a laser beam right now. I don't doubt your abilities. You got this. Watch this. Ugarte. Summarizing transformations. What's the parent function of absolute values? Can someone tell me what the parent function looks like? F of x equals what? Of? Go write that down. That's a parent function. But the parent, as we know, since last Thursday I've been talking about parents have children. Now we're going to summarize it all. We're going to summarize how all the children will look, no matter what. I want to write g of x. Watch this, g of x instead of f of x. Here's I'm going to describe the children now. G of x equals a times x minus h plus k. Okay? We know what h and k do. We've been doing that for the past 2 days. Let's summarize one more time. For k, we're going to write if k is positive, I'll put plus, then vertical shift upward. If negative, vertical shift down. Right? We just did that on warm-up. If it's a plus something, it's up. If it's a minus something, down. The child will be up or down vertical. So far, so good. How about H? Excuse me. Actually, I'm going to use Dodger Blue for H because they won again yesterday, I think. Maybe that'll wake up Valdez, his hatred for the Dodgers. See, I knew that would wake him up. All right, watch this. If H is negative, oops, let me just put, if H is negative, here we go, Rios, then shift to the right. All right, let me talk, gentlemen. If H, or if it's positive, then shift to left. If H is negative, right? So we're going to the right. If it's positive, then we're going to the left. That was warm up. Now, watch this now. What about this number in front? Again, I'm going to use Dodger Blue since they won, right, Valdez? Boo! Have a seat. I'll get you right now. We just started the notes, Adriano. It's called summarizing transformations. Let's do it. All right, what happens when there's a number in front of the absolute value, Munoz? Watch this. Let me get my Desmos.com out. By the way, I want you to be using Desmos.com on your next assignment, which is assignment 38.
That's that right there, right?
Yeah, let me go ahead and erase the other children. Let me go ahead and slay the children here and just erase them. Here's a parent in red. F of x equals absolute value of x. That's what Gonzalez just told me a little while ago. There's your parent. Let me put an a value in front of that absolute value. Let's see what happens. Watch what happens. Look at the child now. Watch this, Ontiveros. F of x equals, by the way, before I type it in, let me take some guesses of what the child will look like, and whoever guesses it right gets 2 extra stamps. Ortiz, what do you think is going to happen with the child? I'm going to press 3 times, watch this, 3 times absolute value. I'm going to put 3 times the absolute value of x here. What do you think is going to happen, Ortiz? 2 extra stamps if you guess right. Okay, it's going to like flip. Ontiveros, what do you think the child's going to look like? I know, that's why I'm asking you to guess. Hold up. Huh? Upside down. I like it. Rios, take a wild guess. Upside down, upward. Got you. Munoz, what do you think? Okay. Lozano. Yeah, what will the child look like? I'm not going to press enter yet. So right now, if I put for A, look at for A, I'm putting a number in front of the absolute value. I'm going to put 3. What do you think is going to happen to the child? What will the child look like in relation to the parent? What's going to happen? Is it going to be moving up or down, left or right? What's going to happen? He's saying it's going to flip. He's saying this is going to look this way. Up? Okay. Gonzalez. Whoever guesses right gets 2 extra stamps. Gonzalez. Vertical one more time. Okay, so we're going right now. Okay. And you said flip, right? Okay, let's see what happens. Watch this. See who gets it. Oops. That is an orange. What took place? Look what happened. What happened? Skinnier. So what happened is we took the V and we call it a stretch. We vertically is up and down. We vertically stretched the original function. So it's a vertical stretch. Now, that was if f of x was, if that number was 3. What if I made it into a fraction? Watch this. It's going to be what? What do you mean by that? Okay, so in that case, we call it, if it goes like this, we call it a stretch. If it goes like this, we call it a shrink, vertical shrink. So let me get, what's your favorite fraction, Valdez? 2/4. Watch this. F of x equals 2/4 absolute value. Oops. 2/4 absolute value x. Look at the purple child. So the parent is in red, the times 3 is in orange, and the times 2/4, a fraction, is in purple. So we call it a vertical shrink if it's a fraction. So vertically shrinking, that means it's gonna open up. We're shrinking it or stretching it. Okay, so it's vertical stretch, vertical shrink. Stretch is in yellow, shrinks in purple. Let's go back to our summary. Watch this. So underneath A now, we're almost done. Not going to have a long note session today. Here we go. So for A, going to write if A is positive, actually if A is greater than 1, vertical stretch. If less than 1, I'm going to have to move you guys, man. Every day it's like this. If less than 1, vertical shrink. There we go. There's your summary. Should I write down Ontiveros? What do you guys think? Nah? Easy. Thinking about this. Should be laughing right now. I should be arrested for giving you math this easy. It's ridiculous. Let's do one example. Example 1 and we're done. Here we go. You guys are doing excellent. Describe the transformation. Yeah, just for today. Because I can see you guys are, some of you are like out of it right now. Describe the transformation. It's going to be okay. Here we go. Here we go. Dodger blue. Why Dodger blue, Valdez? You're the man. Here we go. F of x equals 2 absolute value of x. Lozano with me? Minus 11. All right. Do we have a value for k? What's our k value? Negative 11. So is that going to be a vertical up or down, Mr. Rios? Perfect. So that's our first sentence. Here we go. Vertical shift down 11 units. So far, so good. Valdez, do we have an h value? Gonzalez, save the day, Gonzalez. Do we have an h value? What's our h value? So x is not an h value. Lozano, save the day. Do we have an h value? There's no h value, so this is not going to move left or right. Do we have an a value, Miss Munoz? An a value. Look at your notes. What is a? Is there something in front of my absolute value? Thank you. So a is 2. Is that going to be a vertical stretch or a vertical shrink or tease? Save the day. Will it be a vertical stretch or shrink? Shrinking or stretching? Well, let's see. Stretching. It's going to be a stretch. Look at. Let's see. If a is greater than 1, vertical stretch. We're stretching that puppy. If it's less than 1, in other words, if it's a fraction, we're shrinking that puppy. So this would be a vertical stretch. Right, next sentence. Here we go. Is this really that hard, you guys? Come on. Vertical, watch the way I'm going to write it. Vertical stretch by a factor of 2. A factor means something you multiply. So when we describe stretches, we always describe it by a factor. The vertical stretch by a factor of 2, write that down. What do you guys think? What I'm going to do in the gallery walk is actually give you the graphs, and you have to write the function. Well, look at here's how here. Good question. He says, I don't get it. Watch this. Let me tell you what you're going to do in the gallery walk. I'm going to throw a function like this. Watch. I'm going to tell you, write the function of that. Well, the parent is right here in the middle, right? So what happened? That's horizontal. So f of x, here we go. Horizontal shift, left and right, that has to do with the h value. So it's going to be x. It's going to the left, so it's going to be a plus 4. Done. I threw this at you, you're going to write that. You and your partner. It's going to be a race. I threw that at you. You're going to give me that for the gallery walk. Well, I compare the child to the parent. The parent's right here, right? Here's a parent right here. Watch. Remember the parent? Okay. It's going to be a race. First group to win, 2 extra stamps. Let's go Ortiz and Gonzalez. Let's go Valdez, Rios. We'll go Lozano and Munoz and Ariano. One group of 3 right here. Ontiveros, you have some catching up to do. Go grab your Chromebook. I'm going to give you some lectures to catch up on. 1 piece of paper, all 3 your names on it, or 2 your names on it. Go.